So hey guys, welcome back to Depression Notes YouTube page. So today's video, it's going to be a Q&A. So a few days ago, basically, we put on Twitter like, hey, if you have any questions you might want answered, like, just put them in the comments below. I made a few responses and stuff, so I'm just going to pick some of those responses and just like answer some of them and stuff like that. So I hope you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and let's get started. So basically, I screenshotted some of the posts and then I made post-it notes of the questions I'm going to answer. So the first one is how to motivate yourself when you're depressed. So this can be a really difficult thing because depression can make you not want to get out of bed, feel like you can't really do anything right, and it can be really difficult. And the thing to sort of help it is different for every single person. So for some people, having a clean space to do work and stuff, so say cleaning up, like, you know, just sorting everything out can just make things a bit easier. So when, like, because sometimes if you are depressed you may have a very messy room and things might just be disorganised and stuff like that, and that can make doing daily life very difficult, and it can also motivate you not to do things. So basically one way to do that is just one day just sort of just try clean up stuff and just hope for the best. Other ways to go are in the morning, rather than staying in bed for a long time, just force yourself to get out of bed. Now this doesn't work for everyone. Some people cannot get out of bed, and that is completely understandable, and that's okay. But for some people you may have some motivation in the morning just to sort of push yourself, just to completely like throw yourself out there, and you can really challenge that negative thinking that's like, oh, you can't do anything right, and it's just like, oh well, I just did that. Another way is to credit yourself when you do small things. That is such a good way to, you know, feel more positive, feel more happy and stuff like that, because when you're making those small steps, which is the best way to motivate yourself, just small steps, like when you look back you realise, wow, all those small steps sort of like led up to something quite big, and that's really good. Other ways are obviously go see a GP, maybe it be medication, maybe it be a therapist that you may need to go through if you're depressed and you need more help being motivated. The thing is how to stop thinking of things that make me sad. So this is a hard one, because how do you stop thinking about things that are constantly over and over in your mind? So it could be possibly the death of a loved one, it could be breaking up with a partner, or you know, friendship breakups, something like that, pet dying. I'm just trying to think of horrible things, like negative things in lives that may make you upset, or possibly things people have said to you in the past. They may be another thing that you possibly think about quite a lot because it makes you sad. So thing is, the best thing that's going to help you is time. And it's horrible because you think, how am I ever going to get over this? Some days you're just like, no, I'm never getting over this. This is going to impact my life forever. Like, it just will not stop playing on repeat in your head. And it's horrible. But over time, it does get easier. Over time, the tape plays less. You stop hearing it as much. You stop thinking about it as much. And over time, it just slowly diminishes, and slowly diminishes the pain it has on you, and it slowly diminishes the amount of time that you are spending occupied thinking about it. So the thing is, time sadly is probably the best way to get over things that are making you sad. Ways to relieve anxiety attacks. So anxiety attacks are horrible. Like they can vary from people to people. Some people may feel dizzy, some people may feel sick, some people the heart may be racing, other people may just not really feel connected to society, like, you know, connected to like the world and stuff. It's all very different for every single person, but good ways are to ground yourself, count your surroundings, like 5 things you can hear, 5 things you can smell, 5 things you can see, 5 things you can touch and stuff like that. So grounding yourself. Water is always great. Water always really helps. Possibly if it is really bad, therapy, medication, obviously stuff like that can also help. A friend struggling with mental illness. So this can be a really difficult one, because if your friend is suffering and they have opened up to you that you know they're suffering, it's like, what can I do? So best step, ask them. I know it can be a bit like, I don't want to do that because that's awkward, but that's the best step to know how best to help someone, because if you don't do that, you don't know what that particular person wants. So some people may need space, some people may need attention. It varies from person to person. So the best way is just to, you know, go out there and ask them. But if you don't want to do that, just be there for them. Just you know, like when they're having hard times, if they're trying to isolate themselves, sort of try, be like, hey, and just reach out to them and stuff like that. How do I know if I'm depressed? This is a very, very difficult one, and basically the easiest answer is go to your GP, go to your doctor, have a therapist, have a professional diagnosis if you want to know if you are like clinically depressed. But if you want to know like, oh, maybe there is a problem, maybe I should see someone, the best thing to do is you know, just see if you identify with other people. See if you you know, Google NHS depression symptoms. We have a depression quiz on our channel, which I'll put in the description below if you want to watch that. And you know, if you get like the warning signs there, if you get like, oh, you may be at risk, like definitely go see someone, and then like you can find out for definite if you are depressed, because it might play on your mind if you're not sure. If you're not sure, oh, maybe this is normal, maybe this is just sad, maybe this isn't, you know, being depressed, because there is a huge difference between being depressed and being sad and stuff like that. So yeah, just see if there's see if you can think there is a problem, and then go see someone. How to spot if a friend is struggling? It can be very, very difficult because mental illness is hidden. Mental illness you cannot always see. Sometimes people may show physical symptoms, but often they don't. So the best thing to do is just be there for your friends, just check up on them. Like if they're not coming out as much, be like, hey, you okay? Like offer to see them and stuff, like doing that. But it can be quite difficult, but there are like small warning factors. So say it depends on the mental illness, it depends on the person, but with people with depression, sometimes their room is messy. If you hear someone talk very, very negatively about themselves, if you hear people saying, oh, like, you'd be better off without me and stuff like that. Just, yeah, this is actually quite a good idea. I might do this video in the future, how to spot if a friend is struggling, if I do more looking into this, and to do a whole video on this, because I think this is quite an interesting thing, because you cannot always tell if a friend is struggling, but there are certain warning signs that you may want to sort of know and may want to be aware of, so you can, you know, best help them. Tell your therapist that you want to change therapists. So therapy is a great way of coping with mental health, but you've got to have the right therapist. Well, you may have to try not hundreds, but you know, quite a few therapists to see like, oh, like this is what I need, because basically with therapists you don't need a best friend, you need someone to tell you, to help you, you need, and that may not always be the best thing in the world, you may not always enjoy that, you may not always be happy with them, but you need someone to push you. You don't need a best friend, you don't need someone that's constantly going to take your side. It can be very, very difficult with therapists. You have a very complicated relationship with your therapist, it's a very vulnerable one, so you want to make sure you have the right therapist. And if you have a reasonable person, they will completely understand that that's okay, and that, you know, that's the circumstance, that you need someone that can understand you, you need someone that can help you. So just tell your therapist that you just think, this like relationship I don't think is working for me, like thank you for all you've done, but it's just not, we're just not clicking. Like they should understand that. As a therapist they should completely understand that, because certain people don't work for certain people, like people just don't click. The question is how to stop feeling insecure. So this is hard as well. Like feeling insecure can be horrible, about your appearance, about basically everything, like about if your friends even like you, like if your family likes you, like if anyone likes you, like all this stuff. Like feeling insecure is just such a horrible, horrible thing. Ways to do it: have a strong support group, have a strong group of friends that remind you you are good enough. Don't have people in your life that put you down. And just try reward yourself for little steps in life. Try find one thing a day that you like about yourself. Try force yourself to be like, oh yeah, you know what, I look pretty. Like try make you know, like not the effort, but try put things in, try take care of yourself. So make sure you're showering, make sure you're changing your bed sheets, make sure you're keeping your room and life tidy and stuff like that. And then you, but all that things is, it can just be really, really hard, but you know, self-love is so, so important. So I hope everyone learns to love themselves and stuff like that. I hope you like this question and answer video. If you want to see more of them, comment below. If you have any video suggestions, comment below and stuff like that. I hope some of your questions were answered. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you like and subscribe, and if you want to like and subscribe to my channel, the subscribe thing will probably be here or here somewhere, and so will like a link to my playlist, but I'll also put them in the link below. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a nice day.